All right, so now we're going to talk about the electromagnetic spectrum, okay? Now, it really depends on what spectrum you look at, okay? It will always show you the relationship that we just talked about where wavelength is, if it's increasing, then energy and frequency will be decreasing. However, uh, okay, you have to be careful. So let me show you what I mean by that, okay? For example, if I look at this picture, okay, it tells me, if I look at this one, it says, let me get my pencil here. It says that wavelength is increasing, but it says it's increasing going this way, okay? And then down here it says energy and frequency are increasing, but going this way, okay? Now, however, if you look on the internet, you may find a different one, and this is why I gave you two, because I want you to be able to see. If you just have to read it, okay? So this one, okay, also has the same thing. It's saying increasing wavelength. However, this time it's saying that wavelength is increasing going this way, okay? And energy is increasing going this way. Now, let me tell you why that's important. You just have to read it, okay? But it's important because when I start asking you about stuff on the spectrum, which we're about to talk about, okay, which means like gamma rays, X-rays, and infrared and all that stuff, okay? If you are not reading it correctly, you may just automatically assume when I say, which one has the highest energy? You may say, oh, easy, radio waves. But it says energy is increasing this way, okay? So just make sure you look at if it says wavelength or energy is increasing one way or the other, okay? So I'm gonna show it to you on this one to start, because I kind of like this one, okay? All right, here we go. This is the electromagnetic spectrum, okay? What this does is shows us a whole bunch of different waves, their frequencies, okay? So depending on what your frequency is, Lamar, okay? Depending on what your frequency is, okay, you fall into a different category, okay, basically. So here are the different categories of waves, okay? And I want you to write these down because I'm going to give you a shortcut to kind of remember, okay? So the different categories are, you have radio waves, okay, microwaves, infrared rays. This little skinny right here, this is visible light. This is the stuff that we can see, okay, so like the colors, okay. Then you have ultraviolet rays, X-rays, and gamma rays, okay. This particular one is in order of increasing energy going this way. So as I go this way, the energy is increasing, which means those waves are getting stronger, okay? And if they're getting stronger and have more energy, they are more likely to hurt you, okay? So what I want you to do first is, and I'll write it with you, for instance, let's write these in order, all right? And then I'm gonna give you a shortcut to remember. So like, if you wanna write them like this, radio, you can either write them left to right, and then on the top say that energy is increasing this way, or you can write them however you wanna do it. All right, so I'm just gonna write them this way, radio, microwave, radio, microwave, infrared. Oh my God, sorry. Infrared. After infrared is visible light. Then ultraviolet. Sometimes for ultraviolet, we shortcut it and we call them what type of rays? You get this? Two letters. You've heard it before. Ultraviolet. UV rays. Yeah, UV rays. Okay, so you'll tell them called UV rays. Then X-rays and then gamma rays. Okay. Now, the way I listed them going down, they increase in energy. Okay, the way I listed them going down, they increase in energy. Okay, remember this is a good idea to write this down. Remember I said you're probably going to want to use your notes on the test, and I know you are going to use them. This is one less thing you will have to try to Google and risk not finishing your test. Okay, all right. So this is, if you want to say, for instance, this one has the highest energy. Highest energy. And this one has the lowest energy. Okay. Now, automatically, because we know a relationship between energy and frequency and wavelength, could you tell me which one has the highest frequency? It's either, yes, it's going to be gamma. Because remember, as energy increases, frequency increases. So if this is the highest energy, this one's also the highest frequency. Who has the shortest wavelength?
No, you said shortest wavelength.
Shortest wavelength. Gamma again. Okay, so this is highest energy. So you want to make a note? That's right. Okay. Yep. So you just have to think about it. Highest energy, highest frequency, highest wavelength. Okay. And if you want to write the words, you can. All right. So we know that radio has the lowest energy. What else? Lowest frequency and the longest wavelength. Very good. All right. So here's how we remember these. Now, this should make sense that these have the highest frequency. Because think about this. How many of you guys have been to the dentist and before you get x-rays, what do? They put that big, heavy lead vest on you. Because as you increase in energy, those rays get very dangerous, okay? And if they did not put that on your chest, it could possibly, the x-rays, even though they literally just go over, flick the switch and come back and flip it back off, it could start to mutate your insides, okay? So it's not gonna hurt your bones, but it could hurt your organs, okay? So all your organs and your tissues, that's why people are very cautious when you take x-rays, okay? Gamma rays is like the stuff they would talk about in the movies, the stuff that changed the Hulk, okay? That's like gamma rays, okay? Stuff that will like mutate you. All right, as you go back, you know, we have to be careful with how much ultraviolet light we get, okay? But as you go lower, radio waves, those don't bother us at all. We listen to it in our ear all the time, right? All right, so here's what I want us to know. Here's how you can remember this, and it sounds mean, but this is how I remember it, this in order, okay? In order, I say Ronald, which stands for R, stands for radio, McDonald. If someone can think of something nicer, I'll take it. Is very ugly. Yeah, extra gross. You heard this before?
No, it's up here.
Oh, on the thing. Okay, yeah. Extra gross. Okay. So if you can't remember all of your rays, okay, you can remember Ronald McDonald is very ugly, extra gross. I know that's mean, but it works. Okay. So I'll give you a second to get that down.
So it always has to be in this order?
It's the easiest order to remember it. So they are always in that order, but it's up to you if you want to just kind of like try to remember it on your own. Okay. All right. So here is what we are going to do. Okay. I'm going to say this. I'm going to talk about what our assignment, that quiz that you guys have. I'm going to talk about that just for a second, and then we're going to close out with a video and we'll be done. Okay. So here's what your assignment is. I'm going to put this in your OneNote if you want, but I already made it a quiz. Okay. So, all right. There is this worksheet. Okay. It's wave and electromagnetic spectrum. It's basically, I didn't even do all 15. I just did some of these. Okay. Oh, does anybody know this one? Waves have a color spectrum known as RGB. What is RGB? Anybody know what that is? It is the colors. Red, orange, orange,
Yellow.
green, yellow,
Blue,
blue,
indigo,
yes, indigo, and
Violet.
violet. So this one would be the visible light, okay? And then on the back of this worksheet, there's these. So this is just saying which one has the longer wavelength. So each of these is a question. And sorry guys, if you can't see, let me zoom in. So each of these is a question. So for instance, it will say, which one of these has the greater frequency, yellow or green light, yellow or green light, okay? So I put the spectrums in Schoology, and then this worksheet is not in Schoology, but it's a Schoology quiz. I just went ahead and made it a quiz, okay? And I'll go back and change it and give you 2 attempts, okay? So that's
Actually,
one.
We use the spectrum from the other page.
Yes, so you can use either spectrum, just make sure you read it correctly to answer the questions, okay? There may be like a thing or two you have to Google, but that's about it, okay? The last thing I want to show you is a quick video. I did put the video, so if you're online, I did put the video in the Schoology. It's called a visual of wavelength and frequency, because I know sometimes you watching it at home is off versus what we watch, okay? So what this video is just showing you, I want you to see, not only is there a correlation with frequency and wavelength, but also pitch. Now we don't talk about the sound and pitch, like I know you've seen, right, Chuck? So like pitch, we don't correlate it. We're not gonna talk about it in this class, but in physics we would. So I'm gonna show you this video. If you wanna watch it from Schoology, that's fine. The link is in Schoology, okay? But you can hear it. So eventually the pitch will get so high, so high. Oh, why are you guys didn't tell me? Sorry. 1 second. I'm not sharing my screen. All right. Eventually it will get so high that we as humans can't hear it, but maybe other animals, like a dog whistle. You can't hear a dog whistle, right? All right, here we go. A dog whistle. All right, here we go. So right now, I can't hear anything. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
what?
So you can see the frequency up here is increasing, and you can also see the wavelength getting shorter. You hear that now, right?
I did at 90, yeah.
Yeah, now I can hear it. And then it'll eventually get so high that you won't hear it at all.
He said colors were key.
I know. I was like, what? What did you hear? I don't hear. Wavelength getting smaller, frequency getting higher.
The hertz get higher, that's when you don't hear it.
When they get really high, like you hear the pitch is gonna get higher and higher and higher. So when you sing, go high, you're increasing the frequency of what your voice is saying. Sometimes like I'll get to a point where I can't hear it. People be like, I still hear it. I'm like, really? This is like whistle register, right? I'm gonna tell you when I can't hear it anymore. Okay. Okay, I don't hear anything. Can you guys still hear it?
Really?
I couldn't hear anything.
I
No.
can hear.
Have a good day. See ya. That quiz is due by Sunday night, okay?
Miss Payton.